Hey, what's up, gamers? It's me, Hood of the Gamer, and welcome back to another Genshin tier list. And I actually found out that I have not done a normal tier list of, like, ranking them from, like, strength to not strength since October 7th of 2021. Back when Toma got released. Actually, before Toma got released. That's how long ago I did a tier list for just strength alone. So I am going to do it updated version of 3.0 instead of like 2.2. So like basically 8 updates later. So give me a quick second as I fix some things up. Ignore the background if you can hear it. Pretty sure you can. Alright. Oops. Give me a quick second. I forgot I haven't done this either in a while as well, so here we go. Waiting until it pops up on my... There we go. Actually, hold up. Alright, there we go. There we go, I fixed it. Alright, so as you can see at the bottom, we also have Candace, Sino, Nilo, and Dory, who are not out on the game yet, but Dory's coming out next phase of 3.0. So I'm just going to guess on how strong these three are, as well as her, so... Alright, but without further ado, and actually there's been a lot of changes since my opinion was introduced with who's strong and who isn't. So, without further ado, the Travelers. And I found this out too, so I can actually make it different. So, this is going to be based off strength. Like how good they are in a fight. So, Travelers are obviously going to go into B, but... let's find Lumine real quick and put her higher than her brother because she is strength alone and he is speed. So she's better in a fight than he is. Albedo is also a B in my opinion. There's not a lot to him. Like, he's still pretty strong, like he depends on defense and stuff, but even then, it's okay. Amber, I have her C6, but we are basing off C0, so it'd be D tier for her. Because most of my characters are C0, especially my 5 stars that are not permanent characters, like standard characters. So, Amber at C6 would be definitely like a lower B, but because we're going with C0, she's probably one of the worst people. So yeah, the worst character in the game has to go to Amber. I'm sorry. As much as I love Amber, and as much as I love her C6, it's based off of C0, so... Ayaka, I do believe... this was now specified that she's an A tier? She is strong overall, like, I think she's gonna be a high A, or maybe a low S later on. I might change it up a bit. But... I do feel like that Ayaka is definitely really strong. But compared to other characters who are going to be S tier, which are going to be the top 10 characters, I'm personally going to make it where... Actually, I'm going to add something real quick. So, add a row above. Alright. Top 10 characters. This will be going to orange. This will be going to yellow. This will be going to green. Right? No, wait, there's a lighter orange, my bad. This will go to yellow. This will go to green. And this will go to, like, gray. There we go. Alright, the top 10 characters have been made, so without further ado, then I'm putting Ayaka up to S tier. Barbara, C0. I'd still have to say she's a D tier, but I think she is has more concept than Amber, that's for sure, because Amber's not great in a fight. Sure, her bear buddy distracts, but only specific bad guys is what she distracts. She can't distract all bad guys, and she's not good at bosses either. Well, Barbara, even though C6 is an amazing, C0, she's still good. It's just sometimes you have to leave her out to fight, and even then she's not the greatest of all fighters, so I'd have to put her at D. She might go up to a C later on, but that's just future characters, just in case. Again, I still can't believe they still have that in the game. Beto, I'd have to say is a B tier, but I would say she's better than Aether. Only because, actually, no. Even then, Aether can be strong depending on which element he is. Beto, she's strong, but I wouldn't say she's super strong. Like, lore-wise, she's strong. Probably Constellation, she's strong, but C0, nothing really much came out of her when I got her. Especially, I played her from time to time, but even then, it didn't mean anything because she was not that strong. She still almost died every time I played her, so yeah. Alright, Bennett. I am definitely putting in the top 10 best characters because he is just an overall good support. Could be built as a DPS support. Like, he could be built as anything. C6, sure, his C6 is bad, but again, this is based off C0, but C6, it's only good with Pyros, but even then, most of the time people build him as a Pyro DPS anyways, so it's like, what's the point, like, why do you complain? It's whatever. It's the way they want to build their character, so be it. It's their choice, not yours. Chong Yin is, I think, another B tier, in my opinion. A great cryo support, that's for sure. But he's just a cryo support. He can do, like, cryo... He can be cryo DPS, but besides that, he's mainly a good cryo support. Nothing to it. Like, he's just... I just have to say he's B tier. He's definitely lower than Albedo. But overall, he is a really good character, especially if you have quite a few cryos, which there are some cryo characters that are really good with him. I'll get to them as soon as I get to them. I wonder who that one cryo person is. It's not like they're related to him. Anyways, moving on. Diluc. And also, again, this is based off Z-Zeros. I would say Diluc is an A tier. He might go up to an S tier, but we shall see with the other characters. The reason why I put him in A tier is because he's really strong. His downfall, that is when using his ult, it pushes the bad guys backwards, which is something I really don't like. But, oh, and like, oh well. Like, they have to nerf some people. They can't just automatically make him super strong, because if his ult didn't push the bad guys backwards, I think he'd probably be in the top 10 best characters. If it didn't push them, but that's why I'm putting him in A tiers, because it's still strong, it pushes them backwards, but Diluc's a close range, so that's kind of bad for him. Especially if you're in, like, a time trial or something like that, then that's not a good thing. Diona. She is something, but I would say she's a B tier for being a healer, compared to others that I will be talking about here in the future, but Diona is not that good until you get to C2, but C0 is what we're talking about. C0 Diona is like an okay, I guess. Her shield's not even that strong either, so that's the sucky part. And her ult, when using it, it's the healing pad of hers. She throws it at the guys instead of where like Bennett or Saiyu or Chi-Chi, they can automatically just hit you on that spot, where she throws her healing ability at the people. So you have to run at the healing pad to heal while they're also right there. So I'm like, no, I refuse. Like, she's still good. It's just she throws her thing at the bad guys, which I'm like complaining about, because it's like that's the whole point of healing, is so you can get away from the bad guys, take a breather, heal, then go back to fighting. Not throw your healing at them, then go into fighting while also being at like 0 HP. Like, come on, Diona. Like, why are you being such a little brat? But whatever. Official. This might change, but she's gonna be in the top 10 until I see a better character. Reason why I'm putting her in the top 10 for now, unless if she's still using it, then she stays in it. But if she doesn't, oh well. But I'm gonna explain why she's in my top 10 characters. Reason why is it's because of Oz, but also her ult also is really good too. It does the electro damage. I'm trying to think of the C0. I haven't had a C0 official in like basically since I first got the game. But yeah, no, like, she's really strong. And her charge attack's also really strong too. Like, she's just supposed to be straight up a DPS, so a DPS bow user. I think she was like one of the first DPS bow users as well. Like, not meant to be built as a support. Like, she was meant to be built as a DPS. Which I was just like, oh, I did not know that about her. But of course, her voice lines is what made me not like her, so I drifted away from her a while. Then recently, with a recent event, I started liking her a bit more and started using her a lot more. And I'm like, why did I stop using her again? Oh, right, her voice. But that's in the past, so now I'm used to her voice lines at this rate. But I'm not talking about, like, favorite to least favorite characters. I'm talking about, like, strong characters. And I think she is definitely one of the stronger characters in the game, especially being a 4-star and a bow user. Like, yeah, that's all I can basically say. Also, if you hear, like, a squishing sound, it's me, squeezing a stress ball. Or a squishy ball. I call it a stress ball because it relieves my stress a little bit. Alright, Ganyu. I think she still is a top 10 character. But she is kind of moving down the line with the newer characters we keep getting. The closer she is to going down and more down that list, where she's not that strong anymore. But I still think she is a strong character overall. It's just with a newer character that I will be getting to soon. I think she's still like kind of number 3, but there's a character that's literally right after her apparently. That I'm actually considering whether she's either 3rd or 4th, but because this is my opinion, I might make her the 4th strongest in the tier list. 5th, maybe. She kind of moved down that line because there was a character that almost beat her, technically. Because she's supposed to be built as like a kind of DPS support. A little bit of both. And you're supposed to use charge attacks, which, by the way, that's kind of hard to do, especially if the enemies are, like, close range attackers. Like, yeah, you literally have to use her ult, and then you have to wait, and then you have to have someone who's a Hydra with her, and so you can get her ult thing to keep working and stuff, so, yeah. But moving on, this is the person I think is stronger than Ganyu, in my opinion. Hu Tao, like, the more damage she takes, the more damage she does. Like, I think that's really cool. And I think that's really nice because you won't need a healer as much. And this is where C6 Bennett comes into play. Like, if you have a Hu Tao and a C6 Bennett, oh my god. Like, you're an unstoppable killing machine with those two. But if you just have a normal Bennett, he's still good for Hu Tao, but he'll just heal her without giving her the pyro damage. Plus, you really should not be healing her. The only character you should definitely be using with her is definitely Bennett for a healer. But even then, you have to try to get out of his healing pad once in a while, because the closer you are to dying, the more damage you do, which I'm like, yes, that means I won't need a healer in the future. Which, if I do wind up getting Hu Tao, which I think I might get her after I get Alhaitham and Sino, like after those two, I might wish for her. Depending on who she's with in the... Well, I feel like she's going to be in a rerun with a character from Semeru, who I might like. It depends on who it is, like, is who I'll go for. But even then, I think she's really strong at C0. Like, and then when she gets a C6, she's just like, okay, okay, Hu Tao, like, C6 Hu Tao is literally the best Hu Tao, like, the best character, like, I think she has the best constellations in the game, and with that, she'd probably be the strongest character, but we're talking about C0, so she's, like, number 2 right now, until we get to future characters. Alright, moving on, Jean. I want to say she is in the top 10, but as of for now, I'm going to put her actually at S tier, right above Ayaka. Reason why I'm saying that she's not top 10 is because of the newer characters, but also because Bennett's up there. And we all know Bennett's a really good healer. Jean basically can almost instant heal you, like Barbara with her ult, but at least Jean can also constantly keep healing you with the ult, while Barbara doesn't. She just uses her ult and then never uses it again. You have to rebuild it to get it back. So it's almost like Bennett's healing pad, but it instantly heals you. But that's all it does, where Bennett gives you increased attack while also healing you. And at C6, it'll increase your attack, plus the pyro damage, plus, like, healing. Like, yeah, but C0, remember that. So, yeah, that's where I would put Jean. She might go in the top 10 characters, depending on who else is in there. But for now, I think she's an S tier, not a top 10. Kaya, I think I would put you here, right below Chong Yin. Reason why I'm saying that is because he's a physical, which I found this out not too long ago either. Again, I have not made a tier list of any specific characters since 2.2. We're about to be in 3.1 in about like 23 days. So yeah, I'm putting Kaya in B tier only because he's a physical DPS. Or it could be a physical cryo DPS, or just a cryo DPS. Like, there's a few things you can build him, but I don't think he's that strong. He is a good support overall, but besides that, I don't think he can beat anyone else above him, because they're just overall stronger and better. So, there's that. But yeah, that's where I would put Kaya. I feel like he's just straight up a B tier. Coaching. Okay. I would have to say coaching's probably a high B. She might go to a low A depending on who's on that list as well. But I would say she's a high B for now. If not for now, then she's just a high B in general. I put her at B because she can do pretty much a good amount of damage and she can teleport to the people she's fighting. But besides that, she can't really like hold up a fight for too long because she's not really DPS material. She's more of a support or battery, like depending on how you build her. But I still think she's really good and stuff, like definitely compared to most characters. But out of all the permanents, she's definitely like middle. But yeah. Klee, she used to be like one of the stronger characters, but because of recently, I think I got her recently, so I tried her out a bit. I think she's actually higher than Kuching now. Now I think about it, I don't think Kuching's going up to an A if Klee's going above her in B. The reason why I say Klee is in B tier is because she's good, but it's just her running. Like, that's what kind of slows her down. But her ability gives you two of those, she gives you two, like, of the explosions with her elemental skill. Elemental burst is really good too, but they have to step on them for it to activate, so that's something. And most of the time, they are far range bad guys, so they won't go straight up to you. So the bombs are going to be kind of useless. So that's why I would pick Klee. She might go up to A. Lisa. As much as I don't like you, I'd actually have to say you're pretty strong. I've actually played Lisa from time to time, especially off screen, I think. Might be on stream, who knows? The reason why I'm saying she is higher than Barbara and Amber is because she, especially with Sumeru out, like, she's definitely getting that buff she needed. Oop, give me a second. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think she is strong. And then with Sumeru out, she might go up to a C, but I've never tried her out on Sumeru quite yet, so I don't know about that. So she's just gonna have to stay in D for a while. But that's that's a region itself. It's not like the whole game. Like, this is based off the whole game, not just the region they're good in. But yeah. Next is Mona. Now, Mona was a character I put, I think, in C tier, which now, after playing her a bit, I would have to say she's probably about here. I think she's definitely moved her way up the list for being a really good character. Like, it's sure her dash is what kind of kills her, but besides that, she's a really good Hydro support. And her little thing she puts down on the ground, her elemental skill, is a taunt. So they go and attack it, while also getting Hydro damage to attach to it. While also the Hydro element onto it. Which I think is really cool, and I think that's really useful in a fight. I need to drink some water. Give me a second. Much better. Okay. But yeah, Mona, I think, is definitely a good support, for, especially being a Hydro. Because most Hydros are like healers, and she's like one of the only Hydros that are not healers, so... Or they can heal themselves. So give me a second, my glasses are super dirty. Alright, I am back. Can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. Alright. Ningguang. I think she is still, like, I think she's good as a DPS, but I would have to put her here. After playing her a bit, like, she can definitely get her... She definitely has, like, energy recharge also built into her, but she's supposed to be built as, like, a DPS, but even then, I don't think she's that good as most people say she is. Like, I think there is someone better than her that has the same mechanic, but we're not there to them yet. But, I'd have to say she's about there, because she's just, like, she's good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not, like, my biased opinion be like, if it was my biased opinion, I'd, like, be like, oh, no, she's lower than Amber. No, I have to be completely honest, and I do have to say she is really strong, but I don't think she's stronger than any of the other supports or, like, actual DPSs. Like, yeah. She depends on just attack. Flat attack, nothing else. Noelle, I've actually played, and I've actually changed my mind about her. Oh, wait. Like, I think she's better than Amber now. That's only at C6, but at C0, she's, like, okay, I guess. But using her ult is, like, what makes her really good. But even then, at C0, like, if you switch to another character after using her ult, you don't instantly have it back, so... But yeah, I would put Noelle here, because she's actually grown a little bit, because I had a challenge where I had to play her for, like, basically 2 weeks straight. And she was really good at her job, but of course I have her C6, and I gave her a weapon that's really strong too, so there was that. And she depends on defense for healing, so. Chi-Chi, yeah, I've actually changed my mind. I'm actually putting Chi-Chi to C tier. Most people probably be like, wait, Chi-Chi's a C tier in your eyes? And I'm like, hear me out. She's built as a DPS. The reason why I put her at C tier, and the reason why I prefer her over Barbara and Noelle is because I still have my Chi-Chi's C0. Well, these two are C6. And my Chi-Chi is way better than these two at C0. And with that being said, she, like, I build her as a DPS, obviously, but she does so much damage with just her elemental skill, which is her little, like, healing, like, orb thing. And I just think that's, like, I just can't believe how strong my Chi-Chi is at C0 at level 80. And she could do, like, almost, like, 4,000 with her elemental skill. And that's supposed to be, like, a healing orb. And when using her ult, she does, like, almost, like, 20k damage. And I'm like, I put gladiators on her. Jesus. Yeah, but I think Chi-Chi, in my opinion, is really strong, especially if you build her like Gladiator DPS. If you wanted to, you can build her a Cryo DPS, but I think Gladiators is the way to go. If you want to make her a full DPS and kind of still healing at the same time, like, I would say Gladiators. But still, she is really strong in my eyes. I think she's definitely stronger than what people lead on, because people were like, oh, she's one of the worst healers in the game. You have to keep her out to heal. That's not entirely true, but it is true. But even then, if she's out on the field, she can do a lot of damage. And with that damage, she can put that into healing herself and the team. So, yeah, I don't know why people were complaining about her. I think she's really strong. Moving on to Razer. Used to be another S tier, but moved down the list because of the newer characters. And I'd have to say he's an A tier. The reason why I'm saying that now is because I also learned, after my tier list from a year ago, after learning more about Razer, I found out that if you just press his elemental skill button, not holding it down, if you get three energy recharge orbs, after using his ult, it'll do double the amount of damage, or triple the amount of damage it would usually do. Or if you just, like, have the 3 orbs and then hold down the R2, then it will do a lot of damage with that as well. So, after learning about that and him being a physical, I'm like, Ooh, wow, the Razer is stronger than I thought, and I've been using him like just like a kind of a battery a little bit. Glad I actually made him the way he was supposed to be built, and he's definitely one of the stronger characters I have personally, and that's why I'm putting him in A tiers, because I think he deserves it. Sucrose is going to that S tier. Ooh boy. Sucrose is definitely a nuclear warhead that I'm like, oh my god, I'm horrified of her. Especially at like C0, like geez, she could still be really strong. And her swirls can be combined with other elements too, so that's even like, yeah, and I have her, like, sure I have her C3, but even then, if she wasn't C3, I think I'd still, like, have her really built, like, insanely strong, because she depends on, like, elemental mastery or animal damage, so, and I already have those kind of sets for her. So yeah, that's where I would put her. I think she's definitely an S tier in my eyes. Tartaglia. I think you are definitely deserved to be higher than Diluc, because my Diluc's C2, so he would definitely be stronger than Child, but C0, I would still have to say Tartaglia is definitely better at C0. Hydro damage bonus, having like energy recharge on top of him as a DPS. Like, if he uses elemental skill, like, to change his weapon into, like, the water spear kind of thing, then it gives you, like, it gives you the energy orbs. So they can get ult up, basically, instantly, compared to other characters. They can't usually do that. Where they can fight with their normal attack. For him, it's kind of like a normal attack. Well, also, like they, when using their, like, kind of normal attack, they usually can never get, like, orbs back, especially if you're not in his spear phase. When he's holding down, like, doing charge attacks with his, and with his bow, it does, like, it hits the, bad guys with hydro damage, like, up to 3 times in one hit shot, which I'm like, ooh, that's good. But yeah, I think I'd put him in A tier. Again, I'm not trying to be biased or anything. If I was definitely biased, Amber would not be in D tier because I have her C6, so she'd be about B tier. Chong Yin would probably be in A tier. Aether and Lamine would probably be also A tier. Like, if I was being super biased. I'm not. Venti, I have him C0, and I'm basing this off C0. The most cracked out, like, Venti. Like, he's definitely top 10. I know I've put him above Ganyu, like, and most people are like, I thought Ganyu was supposed to be, like, stronger and stuff, like, than Venti. My Venti is C0, level 90, and I'm trying to get him, crown on his ult, but besides that, he can almost one-shot, he can just solo things by himself. He doesn't need anyone's help, like, at all when using his ult. Like, building him as a DPS is the way to go. Get the Viridescent Hunt from the Battle Pass. Give him, like, Wanderer's Troop, mixed in with probably, like, Viridescent. Give him a lot of crit rate and crit damage, and try to crown that ult of his, and you literally have a monster. Like, you are the Frankenstein to Venti. Like, Venti is your creation, and you are the Frankenstein of the story. Like, he's insanely strong, and I'm actually horrified how strong he is, because my Venti was never built, like, he had a lot of crit damage, but had, like, 10 crit rate at the time. And then someone was like, you need to build your Venti properly. So I was like, okay, I'm building him as a DPS. Now he's my strongest character in the game currently for me. And it's scary. And I'm like, he's the character I've been talking about more than any of these characters. But yeah, if you've been keeping up with my streams lately, Venti's been almost in all the team showcases a little bit. I swear I heard some screaming. Oh well. But yeah, like, I have my Venti, like, if you've been keeping up with my streams, you know that my Venti is just super busted, like, and he's not even maxed, like, leveled yet, like, or, like, I still don't have him crowned yet on his ult, and on top of that, I can possibly get better artifacts from him as well, so, but yeah, I'm just, like, crazed out, like, how strong he is. Like, and I'm trying to get him an R5 Viridescent Hunt, but that's going to take a while because I have to buy the Battle Pass, like, 3 more times then. So every update I'd have to get a new Battle Pass, but yeah. We are moving on. That's that with Venti. Like, I think just Venti's just super strong. Zhongling. I would have to say she's S here. She used to be in the top 10 best characters, but recently there's been a lot more characters that have been beating her in the top 10. Like, she was definitely the most, like, they said, oh, we nerfed her, and she was super, like, broken. She still is, like, like, what we have now is the nerf version of Zhongling. But, I'm like, damn, I wonder what she was originally, because she is just, they were like, we had to nerf her, now all of a sudden she's like, we got the nerf version, and she's really strong, like, out of all the free characters you can get, she is definitely the strongest free character you can ever get. You can get her from the Spiral Abyss, from just getting to a specific level, then unlocking her. I have her C6, so, but yeah. Zhao, I think is definitely stronger than Zhongling, only because I also had him built, before my Venti was built, and before I got, like, Heizo and all that, all those other characters. Zhao was my, like, one of my #1 best DPSs I've ever had, making him reach up to 3,000 attack, and having, like, 52% crit rate, and, like, I think almost 100% crit damage on top of that, and I didn't even have his signature weapon back then, so, yeah, I was just surprised, like, how strong he was, and now I have his signature weapon, I kind of have him built from time to time, and he's just, like, also really strong, but Venti is just stronger. But yeah, that's where I would put him. Xingqiu is one of the top 10 best characters, but that might change again, so keep that in mind. Also, I might move up Zhao to where, actually, no, I'm gonna put him there. Yeah, I'm gonna put him there, and like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 3 spots left, so they're like, the lower we keep going with the top 10, the more these people, like, the lower you are in the top 10 characters, the more will keep going down the list, like to S tier and stuff. But yeah, Xingqiu is a really great support. Definitely one of the characters I would suggest leveling up, that's for sure. But, besides that, like, you definitely need a sacrificial sword before you can go and build him with anything. Or Favonius Lance, that's up to you, but sacrificial is the best weapon for him. Like, I'm not even joking. If you don't have it, then you should wait until you have it before you play and level up your Xingqiu. Or else you're gonna have to wait like 30 seconds before you can get his elemental skill back. Jinyan, I would have to say, and this is with a heavy heart, I would have to say she's a D tier because there's nothing for her. She's a physical defense user. Like, there's nothing much to it. Like, she's still decently good. It's just, she's a really complicated character to try to build. Like, you have to build her as a pyro DPS with like physical, so like Pale Flame and Crimson Witch of Flames, mixed in with defense, like, for a lot of stats because of her shield. Like, she's a weird character to build. But overall, I think she's a D tier, sadly. Like, she's one of my favorite characters, and I'm just, like, kind of sad I have to put her down there. Zhongli is definitely the #1 character currently because of how broken his shield is. That's what makes him really strong. Without that shield, he'd probably be going way down that list, but I think all the gods are almost about that in the top 10, but Venti and Zhongli definitely earned their place where they're at right now. But yeah, like, I can't say much about Zhongli. He's just broken because of his shield, and besides that, yeah, there's nothing really much else to talk about. His ult does freeze people in place, which is really good, so. Rosaria. I would have to put you here. Yeah. Rosaria is a really good support, but she's also built as a cryo physical DPS. So, she's just like Jinyan, except minus the defense, and it's cryo instead of pyro. So it's like Blizzard Strayer mixing with Pale Flame, and then, like, yeah, that's basically it for her. Like, but I think she is stronger because her ult lingers for longer than Jinyan's, because Jinyan's just makes an explosion for like 3 seconds and it's gone and for a while. And plus her elemental skill, Jinyan's, is also longer than Rosaria's. And Rosaria's can teleport. Like, she can teleport to a specific enemy and teleport behind them and attack them with cryo damage, with a physical cryo damage. So, yeah, that's where I put her. Eula. I would have to put Eula definitely there. Reason why is because she's a physical cryo. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that because, Eula's one of those characters that are like, definitely need to build properly, and when you have her built properly, she will be really strong. But besides that, like, yeah, I think she's just an A tier in general. Like, I don't see her going any higher for a while, unless they buff her, which they've never really buffed or nerfed any characters for a while. Like, they don't nerf or buff them until they're actually fully released, so. Yeah, I would just put her at A tier. Yanfei is definitely a stronger Klee, so I'd have to put her at A tier. This is the person that's like Ningguang, except better because she's a pyro, so which means she can be combined with other elements. And on top of that, can make the fire effect linger on longer. Plus, she's a far longer range than other catalysts, shooting like fireballs and stuff at you. And her ult increases her pyro damage, I'm pretty sure. Like, C0, she's okay, but C4 apparently is like you need for a Yanfei, which I never knew, but yeah, Yanfei A tier I think is really strong, and that's where I would put her. Kazuha, this is no argument. I think he is a top 10 characters, but I'd have to say he's just not up there with Venti anymore. Like, I think Venti is actually building people properly. I think Venti wins it by a long shot. I don't think there's any fighting it. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna beat Venti. Like, this is basically the characters I would have, and if I don't have them, I'm just basing off how I think they would be if I had them. Because I don't have Fu Tao, Ganyu, Jean, Albedo. I'm just basing off, if I had them, how strong they would be compared to others. And this is definitely it right here. But yeah, Kazuha I have, and he's not really that strong compared to Venti and Zhao and Bennett and Zhongli. He's definitely stronger than Fischl and Xingqiu, but besides that, nothing really holding up for him. Yoimiya, I think she is an A tier. Reason why I'm saying she's an A tier is because she still does her like amazing pyro damage and her explosion, but besides that, there's really nothing going on with her too special. She can't be far range. She's a close range bow user, which is so weird. But I guess that's how she works, so that's why I would put her in A tier, because she's a close range bow user, which makes no sense to me. Saiyu, I would have to put probably above Beto. Only because her healing, her her ult, her elemental burst, is a healing pad and like a really big AoE. Well, also it's a battle buddy, which means they'll attack while also healing you, which is really good. And I mean, it's Sonic, so, and she can do like her elemental skill can be combined with other elements, dealing the animal damage with the whatever element it's with damage, like on top of that, while spinning for like 20 seconds and then it'll end, which is really good. Alright, moving on to Ryden Shogun, and I think Ryden is going to be here. Reason why is because I have her ability as a battery, not like a DPS or anything like that. Nothing too special. She does a lot of damage as her battery self, but besides that, I'd have to say she's an S tier. Like, I don't think there's anything else running on for her. Like, I think she's just overall an S tier. Yeah, no, I don't think, like, she's strong, and she's a great battery, but I don't think she could beat anyone else that's above her, really. Like, not gonna lie. Sarah. I've tried her a couple of times, and she did actually get stronger, but she's still a D tier. Like, I don't know what's wrong with her, like, at all. Like, people are saying, oh, she can teleport super far away. I don't know how you're not doing it. It's like, well, I don't know how I'm not doing it either. So, she's gonna go D tier. But, she definitely grew because she used to be lower than Amber, in my opinion. Now she's like 2 people above Amber. Also, I don't think I'm going to count Aloy at all, because she's not, like, a character, she's just a crossover, so, but yeah, I'd put Sarah in D tier, because there is something for her, but I just can't unlock that full potential, sadly. Kokomi. I've seen a lot of, and I mean a lot of DPS Kokomis. With that being said, I still think she is still the worst healer in the game. But even then, I don't think she's the worst character in general anymore. I think Amber is at C0. After seeing all those, like, DPS Kokomis, like, I think that Kokomi does have some hope. But, like, slim hope. Like, she still has the negative crit rates. Like, that's not a good thing to have for a character. Like, I can't believe they gave Kokomi, who has a really great design, they gave her the worst crit rate in the the entire game. I don't think they're ever going to make anyone else like her. I think she's just going to be the only one that's stuck in the negatives with crit rate, which is the worst thing that could happen. So, which means you would have to get a full set that has just crit rate for the main stat and in substats, which is so hard to get. So, if you want to build her like her DPS slash like healing self, then you need the clams. So yeah. Moving on, Toma. Toma's a good support, but I say he's about there. I think he's a B tier only because his ult does the pyro damage, but then his skill does like shielding, and it depends on HP, which is just like Zhongli's, but even then, Zhongli beats him by a long shot, and even then, Toma does like no damage, so you have to switch to another character who could be combined, like Tartaglia or Hazo, which I will get to in a few. Yeah, I think Toma's just B tier because he has a lot of potential, but he's like, his fighting style, it looks to be a DPS, but he's just straight up a support, a pyro support, which is good, but not that good. He's only good for like pyros, hydros, or anything that's good with pyro, basically. Besides that, there's nothing else going for him. Ito, on the other hand, he's definitely, I would have to say he's stronger than Ryden. His bold is a little taunt, so it means they don't attack him, they'll attack the bowl. And the more, he's just like Hu Tao, the more damage he takes, the faster he attacks. Not the more damage he does, the faster he attacks. So using his ult while also having a lot of HP taken away from you, he goes super fast. With that being said, I think he's better than Zhongling. Not gonna lie. Or Zhongling. Like, I think he's just S tier in general, like, but he's not, like, top 10 characters, because there's one spot left, and who knows who will that go to. But moving on to Goro, another B tier, but I think he's better than Coaching. But he's only good if there's other Geos on the team, which at this point, everyone should have a lot of Geos. Like, there's obviously Traveler if you don't have any other Geos. You should have, like, Ningguang. Definitely Noelle. What other characters are there? Ningguang. Like, I'm thinking of 4-star characters. I guess those are the only 4-star Geos. Noelle, Ningguang, Traveler. Yeah, no, that's about it. For the 4-star Geos, I guess. He's good with any Geo, but that's only if if you have a full 4-person team of Geos, then you'll be fine. All right, but moving on, Shena. So I want to say she is in the top 10, but that just means she's going to immediately go down because I'm sorry, but I think Shena's an S tier. I don't think she's top 10. Because regardless, if she was, she'd immediately go down to S tier in general. Because I think she's still weaker than Xingqiu and Fischl, in my opinion. She's a great support. A great support. Like, she could be in anything support, or just a DPS in general. But even then, she does come with flaws. Like I don't know what the flaws are because I don't have her. But I'm just assuming if I did have her, she'd definitely be just S tier. Not top 10 characters, like strong they are. So I'm putting Shena there. Yunjin. I would have to say another good support, but I would actually no. I've heard that she's really good, so actually I might put her in A tier. So I found out she's not a good support for just Geo. She's a great support for any character. I don't know how, because I tried it, but apparently it didn't work for me. But for others, they're like, oh my god, she's so great with these people. And I'm like, I've tried that. It didn't work for me. They're like, did you have her built? I'm like, yeah, just defense. They're like, yeah, strange. And I'm like, whatever. But also, apparently, she also has a mini shield that lasts for like not even 2 seconds. Found this out from my friend, but apparently when they were fighting like that primo thing, one of the bosses in Leeway, when she used I think Yunjin's ult or skill, she got a shield because when the thing was using its beam attack, they used I think it was the ult. They used the ult and immediately the thing took damage after using the ult at the right time, and I was like, ooh, she has a built-in shield somehow? Okay. So yeah, I'm putting Yunjin in A tier because she's a really good support for apparently anyone, not just Geos. But yeah, Yae Miko. I would have to say Yae is probably A tier. I think she is strong, but same time, I don't know, something about her just doesn't feel like she is stronger than people who are above her. So, yeah, I would have to put her in A tier. Because I don't see her being any better than the others, at least, if I did have her. But yeah, moving on, Ayato. Remember how I said there will be other characters that will probably be in the top 10? Well, he's definitely in my top 10. Because when I got him, I didn't know that a sacrificial sword would be great on him. I thought the flute would be good on him because he depends on HP or energy recharge. But I gave him either that or the Favonius Lance, but I mainly gave him the flute to make him a DPS. But then that didn't work out for me, so I switched him to being I gave him Sacrificial Sword to see if that made a difference, and that made a huge difference. He became a battery for Hydros, which is really good, because that's good for, Barbara, Tartaglia, Mona, Singcho, like all those hydros, he's really great for if you give him the sacrificial sword and build him as a battery. Like, I did not know that was a build on an Ayato. But I knew he was HP and energy recharge, but when I gave him sacrificial sword, I was not expecting him to be that good. Like, he does a lot of damage, and then he also gets a lot of, like, energy recharge back. And I'm like, Jesus, I should be building him as a battery instead of a DPS. So yeah, I think he's definitely one of my top 10 characters. Yelan, another HP energy recharge, which is so weird why there's so many of those guys. But I would have to say Yelan, if I did have her, I'd have to put her about there in S tier. Reason why I would put her there is because I don't know, like, I played her in her, like, trial thing. She was really good, but for some reason, I just feel like she doesn't do that much damage, though, when using her ult. She looks strong, but she, like, using her ult didn't feel that strong in the trial, like, at all. So, that's why I'm putting her in S tier. Moving on, Kooky. Yeah, I think Kooky had potential because she's the first Electro healer. But with that being said, I don't think she's that good. And so with that being said, Chi-Chi finally has a friend, but someone who's weaker than her. Kooky had a lot of potential being a good, like, Electro healer. But when using her skill, it takes her HP away, so you have to use her, like, most of her healing to heal her back up. And then you have to switch to the other character if you wanted them to get healed. Like, that's not a good thing. And even if you attacked with other people, that wouldn't heal them any faster. They'd still be, like, the person would still be injured. So you have to switch to them and then let them get healed. We'll say the reason why she's not a D tier is because she applies the electro damage with that. Basically making if you had a Hydro character that was injured and you switched to Kooky, used her thing, switched to the person that was almost dead, that was a Hydro, you'd basically get this, the electricity effect, basically. With the Hydro and Electros. But yeah, I would definitely put her there. Now, Hazo. He was stronger. Also, it's no longer top 10, so we're moving down characters. So, it's no, like, he was stronger than Venti, but then I built my Venti properly as a DPS. And then my Venti became stronger than my Hazo, and my Hazo is 3 crowned. With an R2 lost prayer, like, bruh. Whatever, but yeah, no, my Venti is just that strong now. Like, I can't believe how strong he is. Like, Hazel is strong, like, in general. Like, I think most people can agree with me. Like, I'm not being biased or anything. He's really strong if you properly build him. And if you properly build him, for being the first male catalyst, and an Animo, too, he's just really strong. Like, he hits like a semi-truck. Like, the dude's like, oh, I'm super weak, but then when you actually play him, he almost one-shots things. I'm like, how are you the weak one again? But yeah. I would definitely put him in top 10. Tagnori is also in the top 10. And I would have to put him here. Okay, sorry, official. You're going down the list again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Okay, there's the list right there. Okay, so reason why I would put Tagnori above my Hazo specifically, is because I didn't know when using his skill, it would blind them while also making them get the Dendro effect on them. Like, I thought it was just the Dendro effect, but then he was like, you can't see, and then when I was like, looking at them in the little area of the, like, of his skill, they were just standing there swinging at nothing, and I was like, wait, he says you can't see. does he make them blind? And then I found that out, and I was like, oh my god, he makes the bad guys go blind. So they can't see you, and they can't really leave that area, apparently, either. So I'm like... And then his ult is a heat-seeking missile. And it attacks multiple enemies at the same time, giving them also the the Dendro damage. And I'm like... Or Dendro effect. And I'm like... No wonder why people are saying Electros are, like, really strong in Sumeru. Tagnori is just... What? Like, Tagnori is on something? I'm like... Bruh. Yeah. Like, Tagnori, I think, is definitely a top 10 character. I think he's definitely stronger than Ganyu as well. Especially in my opinion. Like, yeah, I don't think my Ganyu could ever beat these guys if I did have a Ganyu. Kali. I haven't really tried out Kali, but I'd have to say she is probably a B tier. I have her C1, but I haven't tried her out because she's so low level. But I think she is definitely stronger than Amber and most like supports in the game, especially being another Dendro character. But other than that, I think she is already just strong in general. Like, I think there is something wrong with Dendros. But yeah, with that being said, now we're off to our 4 characters. We have 3 we don't know about. 1 we kind of do. We do have the gameplay of the 3, but they don't really show much, like damage-wise. So, Dori. Looking at you, you're definitely stronger than Kooky. But I think you're only stronger than Kaya. At least from looking at your gameplay. I don't think you're going to be any stronger than that, at least. If not, then I might be wrong. But you are Electro Healer, which you are already better than Kooky, so... Nilo, I want to say she looks to be an A tier, but higher than, I think, Tartaglia. At least. I don't know. Sino, this is what I want him to be. So I'm going to put him there. I think I want him to be an S tier, and I think I want him to be about, like, almost top 10 characters, but not. It's like, I want him to still be a really strong badass in general. And Candace being a Hydro Polearm, I want to put you here. That's where I want to put you. And with that being said, here is my Genshin Impact tier list of 3.0, plus technically 3.1 on top of that. And if you don't like my tier list, this is just my opinion, and and this is also based off the characters I have, and if I had them still at C0, and basically still at like, and if I didn't have them, then I'd basically be like, if I had them on the team, if they'd be stronger than others, which Hu Tao is the only one that I don't have that's actually in 3rd place. But if I do have her and she's still like, she's kind of strong, but Venti's stronger, then I'm going to switch them in the future tier list. But besides that, if you guys did enjoy this live stream, please leave a like, please subscribe, hit that notification bell to get notified whenever I get a live upload video. And sorry I didn't get to do Dungeons & Dragons or another live stream of something, but I think the tier list updated version is definitely needed, because I didn't do an tier list since like October 7th of 2021, which was when it was before Toma even got released, and he got released in like 2.4 or 5. So it was definitely in the early Inazuma. I don't even think it was 2.5 because it was like 2.8. Like, so I think we were in like definitely like 2.1 or 2.2 is what we were at when Toma came out. So, but yeah. Anyways, I hope to see you all in the future.